Good morning, everyone. Uh, this is Pedro. I wanted to take a moment out of the day to share with you guys what deal that I'm currently looking at. There's a local grocery store that the owner's looking to sell, um, and I thought I might share with you what I have so far, or what I'm looking at least. So here we have the financial statements the income statement that the owner, the seller, provided to me. However, I think there were some issues. So a lot of times, what I do, I first start off, I take what they give me, and kind of what you call it, is recast or recreate my own financial statement. And the reason being, there's a couple of reasons for that. This may not be the case in every scenario, but there's certain things that you can add back to the bottom line for a business. And I'm gonna go over some of those examples. So first of all, I went up, I took all these numbers and I recreated everything for myself right here. All right. This is what they originally had. I think they're showing that their total income $611,000, cost of goods 63, gross profit 548,000. Then the net is about 80 grand, almost 81,000. All right. That's what they provided to me. Now, when I look at a deal, I'm going off of that initially, but I do recast because one general rule: you make your money on your buy. You invest for the future, but you buy for today. All right. So you want to remember this in the back of your mind: the 80,000 as a net profit. That's basically what you have left over to take home with you. But when I did recast, I didn't really do that much manipulation to everything, but I think they may have made a typo when they created theirs because I included the same numbers as they did, and my total income is 645 compared to 611. And I keep looking at it, and maybe I made a typo somewhere, but basically there's more revenue. If what I have is correct, is great, and especially if there's no other missing expenses, because that's part of the due diligence. You want to verify everything. Not to say that this is inaccurate. My theory is innocent until proven guilty, meaning that you assume that everything is legit, but then you perform the due diligence to confirm or deny that. Um, so with that the case, with the assumption is maybe they did do a typo, or maybe I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they did because they look like they printed this off maybe a QuickBooks. So I'm not sure why this would happen. So anyway, I'm confused. But anyway, I did do everything myself, and so the total income is 645 according to these numbers. I put the same numbers up here. 645, and I moved a couple things around because I'm not sure. For example, as you can see down here, there's a cost of goods for more grocery and tobacco, cigarettes, and they had it down here in the total expense column when that should be considered, especially the labor cost of goods should be up top. So that's what I did. So now the difference is the gross profit is 305, 305,000 and some change. And then I just began going down, looking at all the other expenses that the company has. Okay. And so with total expenses being 191, the net profit, especially with this income bumping up, is now 113,000. Again, net income is basically what's left over after the year. And the reason why we're seeing recast because, for example, this information I have to verify, but you see, there's a total expense of almost $4,000 for automobile. What is that? I don't know. That could be a car payment that the business is paying for. And when you buy the business, you may not really want care for the car, but the good part is that if that's the case, you buy the business, but you're not taking the asset of the car, you're not taking the liabilities. You can basically remove that. And I don't know if this is actually a car payment or not, but let's assume that it is. This is the reason why we say you add back expenses. So then, if that's the case, we will add that $3,800 back add that to the 113. That right there will increase your profits right there. Same thing with these items. right? But these might be consistent because maybe you're not the owner. You may have to use your car to add fuel, et cetera, et cetera. So we don't know, but but a car payment, if it's especially if it's a vehicle that for the business doesn't really need a vehicle. Um, if you're buying an HVAC company, there's certain vans, equipment vans that you normally have. That's part of the package when you buy a business like that, right? If you're buying uh, a um, a limousine company, the limousine, so that's part of an essential asset for the business. But if you just have it for a grocery stores don't need a car, right? So this could just be one of the perks that the previous owner has, but you may not take it over. But you could still add that. Now, also as a negotiating tactic, one thing too, you could continue to add that expense in there, leave it in there, and just say you take it off the asking price. That's one little tip too. So if it's $3,800 a year, so I'm not sure how long the car payment is, but let's just say it's for the next, um, let's just say the $3,800 is for the next 5 years. That's about 19 grand. So in essence, whatever the asking price is, so I think the asking price was like 240. So you can negotiate to say, hey, what if the company continues to pay for your car payment and we just deduct the 19 grand off the 240? That's one little negotiating tactic that you can do to lower the price, and to get in the door without less money. But anyway, so I'm looking at it. So far off the surface, good. One thing I do, there's this form that I found online. I thought it was helpful. I can't remember where I found it, but it basically kind of gives you a snapshot of your return on investment, of how would you like to structure a potential deal. So this right here, this column is basically for capital invested. Um, this right here, SDE, is basically self discretionary income, aka net income profits. That's what that really referring to. So this scenario, what this sheet is really breaking down is, especially if you can get an owner or seller financing a deal, we don't have to necessarily go to the bank. Those are preferred because I prefer that, because going to the bank, especially in this climate today, is going to be a lot more difficult. But owner financing, you might be able to move faster, et cetera, et cetera. Probably no personal guarantees, all that good stuff. But in this scenario, 10% down, $20,000, $24,000 in cash, right? That you'll need to put down. Now, this going back to what I was saying earlier, this is where that negotiating tactic of that car could come in. Because if you do 90, this is a hypothetical, and this, of course, the seller has to be open to it. This is why you got to find distressed or motivated sellers, because this is really important. If they're open to a 90% a financing deal, right? And that would, let me see. So that'd be 216, I believe. Yeah, $216,000 that the owner will finance, and hopefully you get to push it as far as you can. This template is based off of 10 years, 120 payments, 2% interest. Will they go for that? I don't know. You might have to bump it up to 5%. But this is just here. You can manipulate the numbers to play around with. But in that case, $20,000, $24,000 down. Your annual debt service will basically be 23. I'm gonna round up and say 24 grand. Now your adjusted net profit will be 36, because if your net profit is normally 80 grand, even though I know on my sheet I put 114, but I would say base everything off the lowest. So the it said 80. So discretionary income or net profit is 80 grand. So that means as you're paying this note back, uh, the debt service is 23. Also, I'm sorry, I did add that sometimes you are able to take a management fee out of that. So if we were to remove this management fee, if I can remove that would bump that up. As you can see, this is your adjusted EBITDA or net income. It went up to 56. All right, all that's really doing is subtracting $24,000 from the 80 grand of your normal net profit, and that's what's left over. But the reason why I put in the management fee, because sometimes you as a company owner may want to keep just have a management fee to earn a passive income, and you let the profits go to be reinvested back in the company. So that's what you can possibly take, uh, personally take out of annually out of the year. All right, um, and and that kind of gives you a picture. Can you afford to do this, right? And if you bump this up to maybe 5%, right? So still 24 grand. The debt service went up to 32. I'm sorry, debt service went up to 27 grand. Your leftover is 32 grand because you're also taking a $20,000 management fee. And now this setup, I'm an owner investor. That's my strategy. I don't mean that I don't want to do any day to day. As you can see, there's already staff there. I think 10 or so employees with the store manager. So you won't have to really do essentially much. Maybe just oversight. Maybe help paying bills. Maybe. So you don't really have to do that much. So 20 grand, it will probably wouldn't be a bad compensation, right, for minimum work. That way, it gives you time to invest in other deals. But anyway, that's what submitted an offer. I haven't heard back yet. So we shall see how things are going. But I at least want to share with you guys what I'm working on today. All right. Take care. Be blessed.